everyone. My name is Chloe, and today I am here to do my March wrap up. I have read a fair amount in March, and I felt like it was a pretty good reading month. Looking at the stats, it's not that much different than normal reading months, but mentally, I feel really good about it. So, let's just go ahead and get into the stats. So, in March, I read 25 books and I DNF'd one, which I think that is my first official DNF of the year. So, that is great. I mean, it's great that it took till really the end of March to get my first DNF. I participated in a lot of different readathons. I did the Backlist Readathon, Middle Grade March, the Irish Readathon, and March Mystery Madness. And now when I say I participated in those, it was kind of low key. So for the Backlist Readathon, I think I read 6 books. Middle Grade March, I think I read 1. Irish Readathon, I read 1 and DNF'd 1, and then March Mystery Madness, I think I read 7, and I'm counting those as mysteries and thrillers. So I participated in all those. I also did the Book Sisters book, which was the Babysitter's Club Haunted House. It was the Super Mystery #1. I also did 1 buddy read, and I love buddy reading, you guys. So if I continue to do TBRs, I think I've done 1 or 2, and you want to buddy read, let me know, because I love buddy reading so much. Or even on hauls or something, if you want to buddy read, just let me know. I love it, and it keeps me on track. And so I only did 1 this last month, but if you want to do it, let me know. So as far as the rest of the stats go, I'm looking at my spreadsheet. I printed it off. So I'm sorry if I'm looking off to the side, but I read 8,778 pages, which is 283 pages per day. And that is a lot. I read quite a bit. So that 19 were from my shelf, 7 were from somewhere else. I read 1 male author and 25 female authors. So yikes. 23 adult books, 1 middle grade and 2 young adults. 24 were novels, and 1 was a novella and 1 was a tome. I got 6 of them off Hoopla, 6 of them off Libby, which means either ebook or audiobook, but almost always ebook. 1 from the library, 2 from Libro FM, 4 from NetGalley, and 2 just off my shelf. As far as ratings go, I had 2 5-stars, which what is that? 2 5-stars, 1 4.5, which is also what is that? 6 4-stars, 7 3.5 stars, 7 3-stars, 2 2.5s, and 1 DNF. So that is an average rating of 3.56. But I feel I don't know if that makes the DNF a 0 or how that works, because I feel it was a really good month. So as far as the dates of the books that I read 1 that was published in 1990 to 1999, 4 that were published in 2000 to 2009, 1 that was 2010 to 2014. 9 that were 2015 to 2019, 4 that were 2020, and 7 that were 2021. So this has me questioning everything of am I a backlist reader? Because I feel all I read is backlist, and especially with the Backlist Readathon, all I wanted to read was new releases. So I don't know. I think it's partially NetGalley and that kind of stuff. I'm reading a lot more new releases, but I really don't care about the date of when things are released. But I also the hype gets me, and I really want to read things before I hear everyone else's opinion. So I don't know, existential crisis going on here of I don't know if I'm a backlist reader, a new release reader, I don't know. So let's see, anything else that I want to say? Oh, genre wise, now take these with a grain of salt, because I have contemporary, historical, nonfiction, romance, mystery, thriller, and women's fiction, and some of the books can cross genres, but I read 5 contemporary, 2 historical, 1 nonfiction, 6 romance, 7 thrillers, and 5 women's fiction. And like I said, that's according to how I'm classifying them. So for the challenges that I'm doing the Unread Shelf Challenge. And so that was the book you bought on a trip. And that was The Queen of Everything by Deb Coletti. Then for the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, this was one that is recommended by a friend. And so I did the 12 Days of Christmas by Jenny Bayless. And this one was sent to me by my friend Bree, and I think she read it. I know a lot of people read it and really liked it. And so that fit that challenge. And that's about it. So let's get into the books, and then I will update you on my 2021 goals and where I'm at with that. So The books, I'm just going to go through them and tell you my star rating. If you want any more information about any of the books, I vlog every single day and I put a picture of the book in every thumbnail. So you can go to that vlog and see more of my thoughts as I'm reading it. So for this, I'm going to show you, for this, I'm going to tell you my rating and maybe a short explanation, but that is it. So the first one I finished was The Lazy Genius Way by Kendra Adachi, and this was my nonfiction, and I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars, and this book is all about just how to maximize your time and effort so you are doing what matters to you and not wasting time on things that don't. So, for example, she says, like, kind of the meal prep thing. So on Mondays, we eat Mexican. On Tuesdays, we eat tuna sandwiches. On Wednesday, kind of doing things like that to like just eliminate some options and narrow things down so it's less mental energy and things that you have to do. Or like on Mondays, I wear jeans and a black shirt. On Tuesdays, I wear a dress or whatever. She gives tons of different tips and advice, but she also says use what works for you and ditch what doesn't. So I really liked it. That one was gifted to me from Krista from Books and Jams. And so thank you, Krista. I felt like it was very applicable for my life. And some of it I had been doing naturally, but other things I have incorporated. And so I really appreciate that and loved reading it and would highly recommend it. Next is An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. And I gave that one 3 stars. Then Lady in the Lake by Laura Lippman. And I gave that 2.5 stars. Then Mistletoe in Paradise by Jill Shalvis. And this is number 5.5 in her Wildstone series. And I gave that 4 stars. Then was 1,000 Acres by Jane Smiley, and I gave that one 3.5 stars. Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. I gave that 4 stars. Erotic Stories for Punjabi Widows. I gave 3 stars, which I'm realizing now that was a buddy read as well. So I actually did 2 buddy reads. Thank you, Rainey, for reading that with me. I think she DNF'd it, but still, 2 buddy reads. I forgot about that. Next was The 12 Dates of Christmas by Jenny Bayless, and I gave that 3.5 stars. Next was The Babysitter's Club Haunted House by Ann M. Martin, and I gave that 3 stars. I was never a fan of like the super mysteries or the super specials or whatever because they are traveling in most of them, and I just want Stony Brook. I want Stony Brook. I want to see them where they belong. And it's like Stars Hollow. Like it's comforting to go to Stony Brook. And so the ones where they're away, I don't like them as much. I'm also 31 reading a middle grade about the Babysitter's Club. So maybe it's just nostalgia, but 3 stars on that one. Then The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I gave that 4 stars. Ghosted by Rosie Walsh. I gave 3 stars. Are We There Yet by Kathleen West. I gave 3.5 stars. Then 9 Perfect Strangers by Leanne Moriarty. I gave that one 3 stars. Rain Shadow Road by Lisa Kleypas. I gave that one 4 stars. That is the second in her Friday Harbor series, and that is a contemporary series of hers, and I loved it. So if you guys don't know that she writes contemporary, I would definitely say check it out. I've read some of her Travis series and some of this Friday Harbor series and really like them both, so I would definitely recommend. Then Cross Her Heart by Sarah Pinborough. I gave 3.5 stars. The Seafront Tea Room by Vanessa Green. I also gave 3.5 stars. The Queen of Everything by Deb Coletti. I gave 2.5 stars, and this was my other young adult, along with An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. Then The Overdue Life of Amy Byler by Kelly Harms. I gave that one 5 stars. The Night Olivia Fell by Christina McDonald. I gave 4.5 stars. That one, if you read it, prepare for it to break you. It is very, very emotional about mothers and daughters, and it's a thriller, but it's so good. So good. Then I read Yes and I Love You by Ronnie Lauren, and I gave that one 3 stars. And then it comes my DNF, The Brightest Star in the Sky by Marian Keyes. I DNF'd that one after like 45%, so I feel like I gave it a good shot because that is also the tome, so it was like 600 and something pages. So I gave it a shot, but it was offensive, it was boring, it was just not good. Then I read Whisper Network by Chandler Baker, and I gave that one 3 stars. Honey Girl by Morgan Rogers, I gave 3.5 stars. To Love and to Loathe by Martha Waters. This is a second in her Regency Vows, I think is the name of the series. I have not read the first. I don't think you need to, but you do see a lot of the couple from the first book. So you may want to, if you're interested in reading the whole series, I would definitely say read them in order. But I gave that one 3.5 stars. Mother May I by Jocelyn Jackson, and I gave that 4 stars. And then the last one is The Good Sister by Sally Hepworth, and I gave that one 5 stars. So I had a really, really, really great month, and I just loved it. it. Like, I loved most of what I read, and for a while there, I was like really on a roll with reading. So, I feel like it was a really good month. So, as far as my 2021 goals, one of them is to read more thrillers, and so I read 7 in this month, and I feel like that is pretty good. 7 out of 25 is great, so I'm happy with that. As far as lifting, I had this like colored sheet. You guys have probably seen it in all of the prior ones, but I've stopped doing that because what I have known about or learned about myself is that if it's something like that, like it is so motivating to me to color in things and to like track things and keep track, like chart things and stuff, that I will work out when my body is saying don't work out just so I can color the next square. So I don't have any red squares. And so there were times this month that I definitely did not listen to my body and I felt like that was not serving me. So I stopped tracking them and but I definitely did lift most, if not all days. My other goals are both about my kids, which is be on my phone less, and I have failed hard on that one. The other one is the 1,000 Hours Outside Challenge, and we have had a really rough March in this neck of the woods. It was cold, and then it was windy, and so we are still on our first row, but we're getting there, and they're outside earning hours right now with my husband, so that's awesome. So this is like feels very daunting, but we started this January 26th, and like I said, winters can be brutal here in this area, so I feel pretty good about where we're at. The goal is to get 1,000 hours outside in a year, and I don't think we'll do that, but we'll see how long it takes us. So again, another color chart. I'm really motivated. This one I feel like is healthy because it gets me and the kids outside, and so we spend a lot of time outside. So that is everything for my March wrap up. Let me know, how was your March? Are you motivated? Are you slumpy? I know a lot of people had February slumps. So are you feeling better? Tell me all of the things. Tell me your favorite book, your least favorite book, anything you want to talk about. I would be happy to talk about it below. So thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.